The stars were quiet. For many years, Earth had listened to the sky. Satellites scanned every corner of space. Giant telescopes watched strange lights and movements. People believed the universe was empty. They were wrong. One cold morning, deep in the mountains of Greenland, a signal came. Inside the Earth Defense Listening Station, alarms screamed. Commander Alina Reyes, a calm and serious woman in her 40s, rushed into the control room. Her boots echoed across the floor as red lights blinked all around her. "Talk to me," she ordered. Lieutenant O'Neill stood at the main console, his face pale. "Ma'am, it's not random noise. It's language. A broadcast." Alina stared at the screen. Strange symbols flickered in patterns. At first, it looked like static, but the computer decoded it slowly. Then it spoke in English. "This message is from the Galactic Empire. Your planet has been observed. Your species has reached too far. You will surrender within 10 cycles or be removed." Silence filled the room. O'Neill swallowed. 10 cycles. That's 10 Earth days. Alina's eyes narrowed. "Record everything. Send it to High Command and lock this room. No one leaves." Across the world, leaders panicked. The United Nations called. Emergency meetings. News channels ran wild stories: aliens, war, doomsday. People protested in the streets. Some prayed, some laughed. But the smart ones stayed quiet. In Washington, the president sat with his security team. General Marcus Hayes, head of Earth's secret defense, stood like a statue beside him. "We always knew this might happen," Hayes said. "It's time." The president nodded slowly. "Activate it." Far away, beneath the frozen ice of Antarctica, something ancient came to life. Deep underground, behind doors made of neutron steel, was Project Black Fleet. It wasn't a rumor. It wasn't a myth. It was real, and it was human. Inside the control chamber, a man with white hair and a scar across his face looked at the glowing monitors. His name was Commander Raylan Graves. He had trained for this day for 20 years. "Commander," said a young officer, "confirmation just came in. Code Black. Active." The president gave the go. Raylan didn't smile. He only gave a small nod. "Prepare the hangars. Begin warm-up on Fleet Core 1. Across the base, massive engines lit up for the first time in decades. Soldiers in black. Armor moved with precision. Pilots ran to their ships, dark, sharp vessels built with Earth steel, alien tech, and pure human firepower. These ships had no colors, no flags, only black paint and silence. They were called Ghost-class warships, invisible, fast, deadly. Raylan looked at a glass case on the wall. Inside it, a single piece of metal, part of a ship that crashed years ago in the Nevada desert. "The first proof that aliens were real. You came to Earth once before," he whispered. "But now we come prepared." Meanwhile, in orbit above Jupiter, something moved. A small Zorak scout ship entered the solar system. It was shaped like a blade, covered in golden armor, and glowing with blue fire. It scanned the nearby planets, then turned toward Earth. Inside, Captain Krinex of the Galactic Empire watched the screen. "Primitive planet," he said. "Still using satellites, no warp travel. Weak defense systems." His second-in-command hissed, "Do they even know we're here?" "No," Krinex smiled. "But they will soon." Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. "Power drop?" asked Krinex. Before anyone could respond, an alarm shrieked. "Warning, target locked." "What target?" he shouted, but there was no time. From the shadows of Saturn's rings, a black shape appeared. No heat signal, no engine trail, just silence. Dark human warship uncloaked, its cannons already glowing. The Zorak ship turned, but too late. Burst of plasma fire tore through the golden hull. Krenek screamed, but his voice was cut short as the ship exploded. The human warship vanished into the shadows again, leaving behind only metal dust dot back on Earth. Raylan watched the screen. Zorak scout ship. Destroyed, reported the officer. No survivors? None. Raylan stood tall. This is just the beginning. He turned to his team. Prepare the fleet. We are no longer hiding. From deep oceans, from the sides of mountains, and from the skies above, black ships began to rise. The stars had given their warning. Now Earth would answer, with fire. Asterisk, the stars weren't silent anymore. 3 days after the warning, Earth was on high alert. People stayed indoors. Military jets filled the skies. Every radar, telescope, and satellite watched space like a hawk. But the Zorak Empire didn't wait. They attacked first. It started at Luna 6. Earth's oldest moon base. Lieutenant Juno Lee was repairing a solar panel when her suit's radio screamed. Emergency. Incoming, then silence. She looked up and saw something impossible. A golden ship, shaped like a scorpion, moved across the stars, glowing like fire. Then came the beam. White light slammed into the moon base. In seconds, it turned into metal dust and drifting bodies. Juno floated away, helpless, screaming in silence. News hit Earth within minutes. Moon base destroyed. Unknown alien ship over Luna. We are under attack. People cried. Some ran. Some prayed harder. But in the ocean trenches of the Pacific, the Black Fleet was already moving. Commander Raylan stood inside Fleet Corps Command, deep underwater. He watched the footage of Luna 6. He didn't blink. They made there. Move, he said. Now we make ours. He turned to his war team. Launch Ghost Squadron. Of the planet, the air shimmered. 5 ships appeared without a sound. They were matte black. No windows. No symbols. No sound. The Ghost-class warships docked inside one. Captain Vega, a calm woman with steel eyes, nodded to her AI. Target, alien. Warship near Luna. The AI's voice was smooth. Locked. No warnings, she said. Just silence. The human warships didn't fly like normal ships. They blinked. 1 second. They were above Earth. The next, they were around the Zorak. Vessel. The alien ship fired wildly. Gold beams lit space. But every time it fired, the humans weren't there anymore. Then one black ship uncloaked behind it. Point blank. Boom. The alien ship exploded from within. A spear of magnetic plasma tore through it. It didn't scream. It just died. In the Zorak command ship far away. Commander Director received the report. He was not pleased. What do you mean? Destroyed? He growled. His officer spoke quickly. 1 scout and 1 attack ship lost. No warning, no signal, no survivors. The enemy is invisible. Director slammed his fist. This world is just a dirt rock. How can they hide? Ships from us? No one answered. Because no one knew. Back on Earth, Commander Raylan looked at the updated war map. 2 red dots gone. 3 more. Zorak ships approaching Mars. Raylan gave a slow nod. Good. Let them come closer. Sir, said his tech officer, should we engage near Mars? No, he said coldly. Let them pass. I want them to feel safe. Then he turned to another screen. It showed images of something Earth hadn't shown the public yet. A black ship the size of a city. The Leviathan. Meanwhile, near Mars, the 3 Zorak ships drifted smoothly. They had seen the wreck of their fellow ships, but they still believed Earth was weak. Commander Zhao of the Zorak fleet sent a message back to the Empire. Earth has some stealth weapons. We will destroy them and take the planet in 3 days. As his ship approached the asteroid belt, Something strange happened. The stars blinked. Then a message appeared on his screen. Not from his team, from the humans. Turn around. This is your only warning. Zhao laughed. They dare threaten us? Then came the black storm. From behind asteroids. From inside hollow rocks. 10 Ghost-class ships jumped out. They moved. Like shadows. Each one targeted a different Zorak vessel. Their weapons didn't make noise. They didn't explode. They cut. One beam sliced a Zorak ship straight in half. Another shut down engines with an EMP shot. The third ship tried to run. Captain Vega's voice came on. You fired first. Now learn who you woke up. The last Zorak ship was dragged by magnetic grapplers into deep space. Straight into a black hole weapon Earth had never used before. It simply vanished. On Earth. News didn't show these events. The public didn't know. They only saw calm skies. But deep inside, the Black Fleet had already won its first battle. Commander Raylan walked down a long hallway. On the wall were the names of Earth's lost soldiers' names. No one remembered anymore. He paused at one. His brothers. Then he whispered, We're not done yet. He looked up at a large screen. A map of the galaxy. Dozens of red dots. Zorak forces. Then he pressed one button. Phase 2, begin. Hook. The Zorak commander stared at the blinking screen. Where are they? He wasn't asking about humans. He was asking about the ships. His ships, all 3, had gone dark. No signal. No debris. Just gone. Like ghosts in the void. In the Zorak outer sector, deep in the black stretch between stars. Commander Drektor sat in his command throne. 23 ships floated behind him. Each Zorak vessel was lined with heavy weapons, golden armor, and anti-cloaking sensors. But they saw nothing. No heat. No light. Just cold. Where is Earth's fleet? He demanded. His second officer, a tall Zorak with violet skin and a long jaw, replied nervously, We are tracking no warp signs. No cloaked signals. But 3 of our scout ships are gone. Gone how? Drektor snapped. The officer paused. Not destroyed. Not disabled. Just erased. Drektor stood slowly. Nothing gets erased without a trace. But he was wrong. On the other side of the void, a single human ship drifted silently. It had no running lights. No signal. No sound. Only its black metal hull and sharp, blade-like shape made it visible up close. Inside, Captain Vega sat still, watching. Her screen. Her AI, Eco, whispered quietly. Enemy fleet within range. 23 Zorak ships. No clue you're here. Good, she said softly. Begin ghost drift. The ship powered down engines. All lights shut off. Only gravity and invisible. Magnetic sails moved the warship now. It became part of the space around it. It became a ghost. And it wasn't alone. Back in the Zorak fleet, something strange started happening. One of the ship's Unit 9 suddenly lost power. First the lights, then the weapons. Then life support. The crew screamed. The oxygen vanished. The engines froze. Then nothing. The whole ship turned into a frozen coffin in less than 1 minute. No one fired. No explosion. Just gone. Report. Drektor shouted. We lost contact with Unit 9, said his officer. No damage. It's just dead. Then Unit 14 disappeared. Not blown up, just lost. Then Unit 3 vanished from sensors too. Drektor growled. They're here. But where, Commander? The officer said in fear. We can't see them. We can't lock them. We can't even guess where they are. Drektor turned to his crew. Start pulse sweep. Fire plasma through all sectors. But it was already too late. The Black Fleet was not hiding. It was hunting. Each ghost ship moved in perfect silence. Using old tech mixed with alien tricks, they blended with background radiation. Their weapons didn't glow. They didn't fire lasers. They didn't use sound. They silenced ships one by one. They turned the Zorak fleet into shadows, drifting in space. Meanwhile, on Earth, Commander Raylan watched the data feed from orbit. 30 seconds. One ship gone. 20 more seconds. Another. Ship stopped moving. In 10 minutes. 7 Zorak vessels were dead. No alert reached Zorak HQ. Raylan turned to his comms officer. Send them a message. Yes, sir. What message? He looked at her with cold eyes. One word, run. Zorak command. Received the message. They didn't believe it at first. Then the emergency pings started pouring in. Loss of fleet. No survivors. Total wipeout. No. Explanation. The Zorak Emperor stood from his throne, fists shaking. What is this madness? How can a weak planet do this? A scientist nearby whispered, They are not weak, Your Grace. They were just silent. Until now. Back in space, Commander Director made a final choice. Retreat, he ordered. Commander? His second-in-command gasped. I said retreat. Jump out. Now. But the stars were already shifting. The human fleet uncloaked. Only slightly. Enough to be seen, not enough to send a message. 12 ships. Black as death. Floating without light. No sound. No fear. Then they disappeared again like ghosts. Director looked at the screen. All 23 ships were gone. His was the last. He activated warp drive. The jump failed. His ship spun. Lights flickered. Then something moved outside. A human face on a screen. It was Captain Vega. She said one thing. This is Earth's shadow. You stepped into it. Then she fired. In Antarctica, deep in the Black Fleet base, Raylan gave a nod. First ghost operation complete. 0 losses. 23 kills. Someone clapped quietly. He turned. It was an old man in a wheelchair, Admiral Barrett, founder of the Black Fleet. He smiled. You've made the galaxy afraid again. Raylan. Raylan looked back at the screen, showing the wrecks in space. No, he said. Not yet. This was just a whisper. The scream comes next. Hook. Zorak Command finally hacked one of the destroyed ships. What they saw inside made even the Emperor tremble. It wasn't just war. It was a secret buried so deep, even most humans didn't know it. In the center of the Zorak Empire, panic had begun. More fleets were missing. No survivors. No signals. Just cold silence. The Emperor demanded answers. That's when his war techniques brought in a black data cube. It came from the last wreck before it vanished, said one officer. We cracked the ship's memory core. The Emperor stood tall. Show me. The screen turned on. Footage played. Grainy video from inside a human warship. Black walls. Red lights. Strange symbols carved on steel. Then a figure appeared. A human. Not a soldier. A scientist in a gray coat, speaking calmly to a group of officers. Project Lazarus has succeeded. Phase 3 complete. Alien tech now 96% bonded with Terran cores. The Black Fleet will move beyond stealth. It will predict enemy movements next. The Emperor's voice cracked. What is this? The scientist continued. Zorak tech copied. Neural link systems stabilized. Earth is now 14 years ahead of expected enemy advancements. We must remain underground. They still think we are weak. Earth must never look strong until it's too late. The screen went dark. The Zorak room was dead silent. Then the Emperor whispered, They planned this. Back on Earth, deep beneath Antarctica, Raylan walked through a steel hallway with General Hayes. They entered a chamber glowing with alien blue light. Inside, a giant heart-shaped crystal, pulsing with strange energy. The core is alive, Raylan sighed. Still stable after all these years. Hayes nodded. It came from the Arkfall, the ship that crashed in Nevada. Most of the world thought it was a weather balloon. Raylan placed his hand on the glass. We've been building around this for 57 years. This was Earth's dark secret. The Arkfall Azoric escape pod landed on Earth decades ago. Inside were weapons, tools, and a dying alien officer who told one thing before death. They will come, and they will destroy everything. Earth believed him. That day, the Black Fleet was born, not in war, but in fear. Raylan and Hayes entered another room. Rows of warships lined underground rails. Hidden from satellites, human scientists walked. Beside floating spheres, battle mines merged with alien tech. At the far end stood the Abyssal, a ship 3 times larger than any in the fleet. Raylan turned to Hayes. It's ready. Are you sure? Hayes asked. If we show this, now it's not a warning anymore. It's war. Raylan didn't blink. They've seen ghosts. Now let them see death. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, other alien races were watching. From the Thruxian clouds to the Valari spires, secret messages moved fast. One message kept repeating on secure channels. Earth is not what it seemed. The Black Fleet is real. Do not engage. But some didn't believe it. Others wanted proof. And one named Admiral Kelm of the Zyvan Alliance wanted to test it himself. We will send a signal, he said. See if Earth answers. Back on Earth, the Black Fleet detected something strange. A probe had entered Earth orbit. It didn't attack. It didn't scan. It just watched. Captain Vega stood on the command bridge of Ghost 01, eyes narrow. Is that Zorak? Her AI responded. No. Zyvan class? Military observer. Testing reaction. Raylan gave the command. Do not destroy. Let them see. So Earth let it come closer. A probe flew silently over the Pacific, recording everything. It saw normal life cities, oceans, farms. Then it moved toward Antarctica. At first just ice and snow. Then the ground below opened. Like a puzzle. The probe froze. Cameras zoomed. It saw 400 ships. Alien black armor. Plasma cores glowing. A ship the size of a mountain, rising from ice. It tried to escape. Raylan gave a smile. Let it go, he said. Let them all know. The probe jumped to hyperspace, delivering the terrifying truth to the galaxy. A few hours later, Raylan stood before a wall-sized display. Hundreds of red dots blinked. Alien fleets gathering, watching, preparing. The room fell silent. Then Hayes asked, What now? Raylan looked at the stars and replied, Now we stop pretending. He turned to the control room, launched the Abyssal. Show the galaxy Earth's true face. Far below, giant chains unlocked. Engines HUMMED. And Earth's largest warship rose. Into the sky like a monster from legend. Not built to conquer. Built to remind the galaxy. Earth is not afraid. Asterisk. Hook. Jupiter's skies turned red. Not from the planet's storms, but from the reflection of thousands of ships burning. The Zarak had brought their full invasion force. But they didn't know Earth was waiting right inside the gas giant. Invasion began at dawn. 20 Zorak battle carriers jumped into the solar system. Each one held hundreds of ships. They aimed straight for Earth, ready to crush it once and for all. From their bridge, Supreme Commander Valfus of the Galactic Empire smiled. Bring the Terran system to its knees, he said coldly. His fleet moved past Neptune. Then Uranus. Then Saturn. No resistance. He laughed. Their ghosts are gone. Their fear was false. But then something massive moved inside Jupiter. It wasn't a moon. It wasn't a rock. It was a ship, and not just one. A whole fleet. Hidden. Inside the gas giant's atmosphere, cloaked from every sensor. Black metal. Silent engines. And red glowing eyes on their hulls. Then, without warning, every human warship rose from the clouds. One by one. By one, Commander Raylan stood aboard the Abyssal, Earth's largest warship. He looked calm. He tapped the com. Send the message. Across the battlefield, every Zorak ship received the same 2 words. We're awake. And then Earth's. Ships attacked. The Black Fleet didn't fire wildly. They struck with precision. The first Zorak carrier lost its shield generator in 12 seconds. The second exploded before it even saw who shot it. Zorak officers panicked. Where are their signals? Where are their ships? They're inside our formations. They're above us, wait, no. Below, wait. Boom, explosions lit the darkness like fireworks. But the real terror came when the Abyssal moved. It didn't fly fast. It floated. Slow and heavy like a mountain in space. Its main weapon hummed. With blue energy. Inside, human scientists called it the core divider. It locked onto 3 Zorak battleships. Fire. A beam of white-hot energy tore space in a straight line. It didn't explode the ships. It cut them in half. Perfectly. Then, silence again. Zorak Supreme Commander Valthus stared in horror. They have planetary weapons on warships. He whispered. One of his crew spoke. Sir, their dreadnought is targeting our command carrier. Valthus screamed, retreat. But it was too late. The Abyssal fired again. Earth's fleet didn't chase the survivors. They let a few Zorak ships run. Commander Raylan knew why. Let the galaxy see what happens, he said. Let them carry the fear. On the moon, humans watched the battle through telescopes. At first, they saw bright flashes. Then a streak of red glowing across the sky. People ran outside. Children pointed. Is it a comet? No, someone whispered. It's the sky burning. And it was. Thousands of wrecks from Zorak ships began falling into Jupiter's pull. Their burning hulls lit the planet's sky like hellfire. From Earth's point of view, the sky burned red. News broke fast. Earth wins space battle at Jupiter. Black Fleet is real. Zorak Empire retreats. Some celebrated. Some feared what Earth had become. But no one could deny one truth. Humanity was not weak anymore. Back at Black Fleet HQ, Admiral Hayes met Raylan inside the command dome. You should be proud, Hayes said. We just destroyed the biggest Zorak invasion in history. Raylan didn't smile. He stared at the hologram, not of Earth, not of Jupiter, but of the stars beyond. There's more, Raylan said. That was just one empire. Hayes paused. You think more are coming? I know they are, Raylan replied. He walked toward the war room doors. As they opened, he turned once more. We've shown our strength. Now the galaxy will test it. Somewhere far, far away on a hidden world, another alien species watched the entire battle replay. Their leader, old and wise, leaned forward. Earth has revealed its teeth, he said. A soldier beside him asked, should we attack next? The leader gave a thin smile. No, not yet. He pressed a button. Dozens of Earth battle images floated in the air. He whispered, let's see how long their fire burns before we snuff it out. Asterisk hook. The Zorak Empire had ruled for 9,000 years. Planets had bowed. Species had submitted. But now, one single word traveled faster than any ship. Earth. And with it came fear. The Zorak throne world, Zora Prime, once glowed with pride. Golden towers, crystal domes, fire-lit skies. The Emperor had ruled here for centuries. But now, those same towers shook from panic. Inside the Grand War Chamber, voices shouted, Half our fleet is gone. Our outer colonies are silent. Even the trade ships refuse to fly. The Emperor stood still. His hands curled into fists. He looked older, thinner, angrier. How did we fall to apes? With rockets? A voice spoke from the shadows. It was Vizern Malkor, his most trusted advisor. They are not apes anymore, my lord. They are something else now. They are ghosts with guns. Back in deep space, Earth's Black Fleet didn't stop. They didn't go home. They went forward. Raylan stood aboard the Abyssal, watching a new target appear. Zorak Relay Station, Alpha location. Edge of Imperial territory importance. Communications hub defense. High, he looked to his fleet. Cut their voice. The human warships moved like blades. They struck the station fast. Silent. Zorak. Defenders tried to resist, but human jammers silenced every message before it left. 10 minutes later. Nothing was left but floating dust. The Galactic Empire had no way to speak to itself now. On Zora Prime, this caused chaos. Commanders couldn't reach colonies. Fleets lost their orders. Local governors thought the Empire had fallen and began defecting. One colony even raised a human flag. Another declared independence. The Emperor screamed in rage. Meanwhile, hidden inside the Zorak Council itself, betrayal began. Vizern Malkor had a secret. For years, he had watched Earth quietly. He knew about Project Lazarus. He had even visited Earth once disguised as a merchant. He knew Earth's secret. They had built the Black Fleet using alien traders, Zorak blueprints, and stolen Empire tech. Now he turned to a small group of officials and whispered, "If we don't act, we all die. The Emperor is finished. But we can surrender and survive." And just like that, the Empire began to crack from the inside. Back on Earth, Admiral Hayes stared at the live data. "Zorak colonies are pulling away from the throne," he said. Raylan nodded. "The Empire is rotting." He walked to a private chamber where a message waited. It came from Vizern, Amilk, or it simply said, "Talk?" Raylan narrowed his eyes. He replied, "One condition. The Emperor steps down." Hours later, on Zora Prime, something unthinkable happened. The Emperor entered the Grand Hall alone. His guards were gone. The council was silent, and Vizern Malkor stood across from him, holding a datapad. "I spoke to Earth," Malkor said. "You what?" The Emperor roared. "They offered peace, only if you surrender." "You traitor!" "You think I will?" Suddenly, the council doors locked. Lights went out. Guards turned their weapons, not on Malkor, but on the Emperor. Malkor spoke gently. "It's over." And in that moment, 9,000 years of Zorak rule ended. No war. Just silence. Raylan received the report. Zorak throne has fallen. Earth didn't cheer. Raylan just whispered. They thought strength was about ships and size. We taught them it's about preparation. He turned off the screen. "Now," he said, "we prepare for the next war." Far across the stars, other empires watched. The Velari, the Kalfin Swarm, the Frozen Syndicate. All waited. Some were afraid, some were angry. One leader said, "Earth is changing the galaxy, and we will either bow or burn." Back in the quiet oceans of Earth, something returned. The Ghost-class ships docked. The pilots exited their cockpits. Tired, quiet heroes. Captain Vega removed her helmet, looked up at the sky, and said softly, "We're not hiding anymore." In Antarctica, Raylan stood before the empty war map. No red dots, no alerts, just peace, but he knew better. He walked past the cryo vaults. Inside, them new projects. New ships. New tools. Because Earth didn't fight for revenge. It fought for survival. Next time, it wouldn't wait. Asterisk. Hook. The war was over. The galaxy went silent. But the Black Fleet did not disappear. It returned home, not to rest, but to wait. 6 months after the Zorak Empire fell, peace finally reached the stars. No more warnings. No more attacks. No more broken ships drifting in space. Trade resumed. Alliances formed. Some worlds even sang Earth's name like a legend. They came from the dark. They moved like shadows, and they won. But Earth said nothing. It celebrated no victory. Instead, the Black Fleet simply returned. In the frozen ice plains of Antarctica, giant steel doors opened once more. One by one, the Ghost-class ships came back. No noise. No fanfare. Only quiet docking. Robotic arms cleaned the hulls. Crews exited with tired eyes and scarred faces. Commander Raylan stood on the final landing platform, watching. Beside him was Admiral Hayes. They did it? Hayes said softly. Raylan nodded. And now they sleep again. Deep underground, the Black Fleet was sealed. Each ship floated silently inside giant magnetic chambers. Lights dimmed. Engines cooled. The ships looked asleep, but a voice echoed through the hangar, an old AI system whispering across speakers. Standby mode activated. Awaiting next protocol. And then, total silence. Captain Vega walked alone through the war corridor. She stopped at a black wall. On it names. Thousands of them. The lost, the ones who didn't return. She removed her glove and placed her bare hand on the wall. I'll remember you, she whispered. Behind her, the lights flickered once. The ship systems listened. The fleet always remembered. Back on the surface, Raylan looked up at the stars. They seemed peaceful now, but he knew better. Threats don't end, he said. They just sleep. Hayes sighed. So what do we do now? Raylan looked at the horizon. Same thing we've always done. Prepare. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, rumors spread. Some said the Zorak throne world had become a ghost planet, silent and abandoned. Others said the Black Fleet was never real. Just propaganda. But the smart ones, they knew the truth. One Velari diplomat said it best. Earth is not a superpower. Earth is a storm that waits beneath still waters. In a quiet, human classroom on Mars, a child raised her hand. Teacher, is the Black Fleet real? The teacher paused. She looked out the window where a distant moon held a secret hangar. She smiled. Some questions, she said, are best left unanswered. In space, on the dark side of Saturn's moon Titan, one Black-class ship didn't return to Earth. It stayed behind. Alone. Silent. Watching. Its eye slowly scanned the outer systems. No threats detected. Still watching. Back in his quarters, Raylan placed a sealed case on a table. He opened it. Inside a badge. Old, scratched, marked with the Black Fleet symbol. He stared at it, then placed it back inside. He locked it shut. On the case was a label, in case of silence breaking. The final message sent from Earth's military council to all colonies and allies was short. The Black Fleet has returned. The world is safe, for now. But in the blackness between galaxies, something moved. Something far older than the Zorak. Something that had watched Earth's war and smiled. And on one dying world, an ancient being whispered, "They've awakened. Let us see how long their courage lasts. When we come." Back on Earth, Raylan stood alone on a snowy cliff. Behind him, silos, antennas, power plants. Below him, or machines asleep in ice. And above him, the stars. He didn't smile. He didn't speak. He simply watched and waited. Because Earth had returned to silence. But it was not weakness. It was warning. The Black Fleet had returned, not to fight, not to conquer, but to remind the galaxy Earth does not kneel. Earth does not forget. And Earth is never truly at peace. End of story. Series complete. Asterisk.